nirvishesha shunyavadi paschatyarishatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Chai Chandra Harmonium, Bhakti Stacy Yashoda Kumar Kartal, the Hare Krishna chanters, Gopamanande, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Clearing the mist of ignorance. Just hearing the title is reassuring, isn't it? Because the cause for all suffering is ignorance. And in our normal condition, we are connected consciously to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's full of all bliss, all knowledge, and eternally exists. And as parts and parcels, we have the same quality, but because of falling under the influence of ignorance, we've become temporarily separated from our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's been obscured. So clearing the mist of ignorance, just as when the sun comes up in the morning and clears away the fog, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that the knowledge of Krishna consciousness clears away our misgivings and our fear. The material world is characterized by fear most of all. Bhayam dvitiya abhinibheshata syad. Abhinibheshata means to be absorbed in something, and the Vedas say in our abnormal condition we become absorbed in dvitiya, which means the material body, which is a byproduct of our ignorance. And when we turn our attention back to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, especially through His divine name, the light of the name brings us all knowledge and detachment from the world and resituates us in our eternal situation as blissful servants of the Lord. So there's a yoga ladder which is meant to remedy the situation. Our divine source, Krishna, who describes himself in the Bhagavad Gita as the source of all light, is Satchit Ananda, and the soul is part and parcel of that divine source, just as a pencil ray of the sun is also the sun, but it's also a part of the sun, simultaneously sun and a part of the sun. So similarly, the soul, mamai vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. The soul is an anksha, or a part of Krishna, simultaneously one and different, same in quality. And then there's ignorance, and ignorance is more interestingly pronounced as ignorance, because the original cause of our ignorance is ignorance. The Shastra says that when I turn my attention away from Krishna, then through that ignorance I fall into ignorance, and I become covered by the modes of material nature, and I succumb to desires, chase after desires. I become a kami, or one who pursues desires that are not connected to my eternal interests. Ritertam yat pratyeta na pratyeta chatmani tadvidyadat manomayam yatabhaso yata tamaha. Lord Krishna told Brahma that anything you see that is not in relationship to me is my illusory energy. And anything that you think as is of any value, which is separated from me, is simply like a tiny reflection in the darkness. And based on our desires, we engage in activities. And those activities condition us more and more, or obligate us more and more to the laws of material nature. Dhyayato vishayan pumsang sangas teshu pachayate sangat sangayate kama kamat krodho bijayate. There's a way in which dhyayato, I meditate or I contemplate the objects of the senses. When I'm covered by ignorance, I look and see an object of desire, and I contemplate it because I think there's something in it for me, even though there's not. This is a mistake. This is Maya. And from that contemplation, I develop attachment. A kind of, I make a connection with it, sangha, and I think this is for me. And once I do that, then I become attached to it. And then when I try to enjoy matter, then I become frustrated, angry, and then I fall into a spiral of ignorance, forgetfulness, and I forget my real purpose in life. And so the activities in the material world are ruled by ignorance, and everyone becomes more and more indebted by that. So there are different ways that the soul, of course, first by misusing free will, ignores Krishna and falls into ignorance. And then the desires become counterproductive, and the activities of a person with misinformed desires oblige him to more and more become a debtor in the material world. And therefore there's the process of karma yoga, which deals with the realm of activity, through which one can become disentangled. And in the yoga ladder, which is described in the Bhagavad Gita, there are different stages of yoga, beginning with karma yoga, which deals with activity, and jnana yoga, which deals with desires, and dhyan yoga, which is a process for mechanically fixing one's mind on the supersoul. And then there's bhakti yoga, which is the perfection of all yoga, because it actually deals with the root cause of all the other difficulties we have in life. If I deal with activity or with desire, then I haven't dealt with the root cause of the problem, which is ignoring Krishna in the first place. And therefore, Shastra says, Bhayam dvitiya abhinibeshata syad, ishad apetasya viparyayo smriti, tanmaya to buddha abhajatam, bhakyaika yesham guru devatatma. The solution for the absorption in that which is not Krishna and the resulting fear and anxiety is to turn back toward Krishna. Seems kind of obvious, but that's the process. And in full devotion, tasmad ekena manasa bhagavan sattvatam pati shotavya kirtitavyascha dhyeya pujascha nityada. Sutta Goswami describes the process, which is, he says, therefore, ekena manasa, with one-pointed attention, one should worship Krishna. Shrotavya, through hearing. Shrotavya, kirtitavyas, and through chanting, hearing and chanting. Dhyeya, through remembering. Pujas, if one should worship. Chanityada, always. One-pointed attention. And this is the beginning of reviving our original consciousness. Nitya siddha Krishna prema sadhya kabunoi shravanadi shuddha chitte karai udoi. Our natural engagement is to serve Krishna and to love Krishna, and our relationship is dormant. And by the process of devotional service, it becomes reawakened. So bhakti solves all the problems at the root, which is to turn back towards Krishna and reverse the ignorance, and to fully give one's attention towards Krishna. So in the Kali Yuga age specifically, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come as the acharya to teach the process in Kali Yuga for turning one's attention towards Krishna. Lord Chaitanya empowered his devotees to show the process of devotional service as well. In fact, when Vallabhacharya met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and began to glorify him, Mahaprabhu said, "It's not me, it's my devotees." And as if he had 5 faces, he began to talk about how his devotees were actually the carriers of bhakti. And he mentioned Haridas Thakur, who is the acharya of the holy name. And in a book which is called the Harinam Chintamani, written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there's the recount of a discussion between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakur, in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks questions of Haridas Thakur about the goal of life, and specifically about chanting Hare Krishna. So tonight, I would like to present a very simple but profound process for advancing in devotional service, which we've heard before, but which, when repeated and looked at scientifically, becomes very encouraging. Hare Krishna. And in one section of the Harinam Chintamani, Haridas Thakur states that if one thoroughly understands namabhas, one's chanting of the holy name will become pure. Namabhas means the filtered rays of the holy name. And on a cloudy day, we still get light, but it's indirect. In fact, if you go out on a cloudy day and you don't protect your skin, you'll also get sunburned. I know from personal experience. From the Rath Yatra at San Francisco 2 years ago, I ran around all day doing the book tables without any hat on, and the next day I was burned, even though it was a very cloudy day, thick cloud cover. And it reminded me of one of the hit songs from the 1960s, "I've Got Sunshine on a Cloudy Day." And does anybody know that song? Come on, Stacy, you don't know that? You don't? I do. Okay. And we do have sunshine on a cloudy day. So even when our full vision of the holy name is not yet revealed, that is, I don't have a taste, and I don't see the holy name as Krishna completely. I have some faith, however. There's enough light coming through that I will be rescued from the clutches of material nature as I go on chanting. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So the holy name is just like the sun, and there are ways in which our vision of the sun get blocked. So that's why we don't experience complete ecstasy when we chant the holy name of the Lord. There are statements in Shastra that describe the result of somebody chanting the pure name. And there's one in the Shikshashtakam that describe how a devotee develops symptoms of ecstasy when he or she's chanting the holy names. Does anybody know the verse? Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravishayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda vedahena me. So Lord Chaitanya says, when I chant the holy name of the Lord, I feel like such separation from Krishna that 1 minute seems like 12 years. And what's another verse that describes the ecstatic symptoms the devotee feels? Say it loud.
Even the
No, from the Shikshashtakam. Yeah. Get those mics flowing here.
Okay, I'm just repeating part of this verse which relates to this, which is that Vadanam gadgada rudhayagara pulaker vajitam vabhu kada tavanamagrahane bhavishyati. Tavanamagrahane bhavishyati. Something like that.
So give us the meaning.
Vadanam gadgada rudhayagara. That means the whole body is quivering in ecstasy. Pulaker vabhu.
Gadgada means, is especially, you hear it also when we sing the Gaur Artik. That gada gada means, it's a stuttering of the voice. Like your voice becomes choked up and you can't talk, gada gada. So the voice becomes choked, what else? Pulakar, nichitam vapukada.
I don't know, but from
hair
the translation,
standing on end, there's tears coming from, tears flowing from the eyes like waves and so on. And in the song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Krishna bolbe jabe pula kabe, jorbe anki boli tai. By the chanting of the holy name, these symptoms erupt in the body. These are signs that one is experiencing the ecstasy that's coming from the holy name. And Shraddha, you were quoting from the Bhagavatam, 11th canto. Give her the microphone.
I was saying, Evam vrata swapriya nama kirtya jatanurago drutchitte uche hasati ati rodati roti gayati unmadvan nrityati lokabhaya. So, having taken a vow to chant the holy names of the Lord, the symptoms that are manifest are hasati, starts laughing and singing like a madman, does not care what the rest of the world thinks about him.
Yes, nice. And that's a verse that Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master gave to Lord Chaitanya after he had received initiation and then experienced such ecstasy that he thought maybe he had gone mad. And he went back to his spiritual master and asked, what kind of mantra did you give me? Because now when I chant, I lose my bearings and I become like a mad person. And his spiritual master said, very good, very good. And he explained this verse from the Bhagavatam, which is, he said, is the essence of the Bhagavatam, that by chanting the holy name, one's heart begins to melt and one develops a relationship with Krishna through that. The name becomes very dear to him. And then he chants in ecstasy, not caring for outsiders. So what blocks us from that experience? There are ways in which sometimes people take up the vow of chanting and then they give it up again because they find something else like the internet more interesting or something else. I mean, there are so many things flying around the world that can distract our attention. And so there are various influences or coverings that block our vision of the rays of the holy name of the Lord. And these are divided into three categories. First of all, Thakur Haridas has said that ignorance has three divisions. One is ignorance of the name of Krishna. Another is ignorance of Krishna's supreme position. And the third is ignorance of the transcendental nature of one's own self. When Brahma creates the universe, described in the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, he also brings forth several coverings. And these coverings include the bodily conception of life, thinking that when I give up this body that I'm finished, everything's done. And also a tendency to want to enjoy matter. In this condition of ignorance, one forgets one's real interest in oneself. And at that time, one's ignorant of the name of God and its power. And also, if you move around in the world as a theist, you'll find that people will argue with you. In fact, people spend their whole lives and whole careers sometimes disputing the fact that there's any God. There's a way in which they become ignorant of the supreme power of God. So these are all different categories of ignorance. And there are several categories of knowledge which are fundamental to one's recovery. And one is that Krishna is God. There is a supreme personality of Godhead. And that living entities are his servants, and that the material world is an unconscious gross manifestation or a byproduct of the Lord. All these together are called Sambandha Gyan, meaning understanding one's relationship with this world and with Krishna. And without this Sambandha Gyan, one is bound to be moved by Maya in this world and keep goals which are temporary and which lead one to a miserable end. Therefore, and one other aspect, and that is that the holy name is never covered. It's only our vision of the holy name that becomes covered by different kinds of anartas or coverings. Any comments so far? Reflections or questions? Stacy?
Do you use the...
Yes, I do.